Hi, and welcome to the next module in StrategyOS, covering positioning. I'm John Strickler, founder and coach at Rise Online Group. This module continues our series, helping leaders build and deliver their vision. In this module, I'll cover why positioning matters and how to use positioning. Then we'll look at an example and work exercises to create your values and create your mission and vision. From our introduction to StrategyOS, you'll recall that we first define a business model to run on the StrategyOS process. This module focuses on the top elements of the positioning: mission, the enduring purpose of the business; vision, how you will be viewed by the world when you successfully execute your mission; and values, which are principles and beliefs that guide how you act. Positioning items set perspective, give guidance, and inspire by describing a future that is 10 plus years out. The mission, vision, and value statement should change very little over time. They describe why the business exists. They give long-term perspective to the strategy and plan elements. As Simon Sinek explains in Start With Why, these statements describe your purpose, cause, and beliefs. They are motivating statements explaining why anyone should care about your business. He reminds us that people buy and buy into why you exist at the center of the circle, not how you do it or what you do. Dee Hock, founder of Visa, further explains the need to keep these statements simple and clear. Well-crafted purpose and principles offer useful guidance about how to behave as a company, even for situations we cannot yet envision. So once we have them, how will we put positioning statements into practice? First, we will communicate them widely to inspire and guide everyone we interact with. We'll refer to them when we make important decisions, and we'll use them to evaluate people who we work with. This includes current employees, prospective new hires, and our customers and partners. We'll ensure customers and employees feel our positioning whenever they interact with us. And we'll build the positioning into our branding. I think you can tell from the brands, Google and Apple have very different positioning. As we introduce exercises, I'll use them as examples to give a feel for how their positioning is reflected in their branding. Before we start our first exercise, let me first share how to get the most out of all exercises in these modules. You'll get the best results when your key leadership works together in a workshop format. Workshops allow teams to build businesses that are better than what any one individual can envision. Well-executed workshops generate interaction and input from a diverse group of leaders and influencers in your business. The decisions and other outputs are better than any one person can create. As a bonus, the interaction creates buy-in and understanding that enables better execution of the strategy. If you're working on this module alone, revisit this and all exercises with a trusted and committed group that can help you build compelling ideas for all business model components. You should be able to complete your entire business model working over a couple of half to three-quarter length days. For these exercises, allow 1 hour for the values exercise and 1.5 hours for the mission and vision exercises. I will be using Formula Roofing as an example to demonstrate how these exercises work throughout these modules. They are a successful roofing company working in the Denver area. We held workshops virtually with 6 members of the leadership team. It included their CEO and leads from sales, finance, operations, technology, and customer service. We used a virtual whiteboard called Envision to conduct the exercises. You can use other offerings for the whiteboards, or of course you can be in person with real boards and Post-it notes. The workshop was 2 half days with another 1.5 hours to review and scrub the worksheet wording. As a reminder, we will ultimately capture all elements of our business model in this worksheet. Okay, now let's focus on company values. I first suggest people look at these 3 places when considering what values to use for their company. What values have worked well to guide you in the past? What values do you admire in other people? Maybe someone you worked with before or someone famous that you admire. And what do other companies do that you want to emulate? And what part of their values resonate for your business? I like to make writing ideas from thinking about these 3 sources pre-work to bring into a values creation exercise. It accelerates getting the ideas started. Start the values exercise by reminding yourself and others what values are and why they are important. All participants should review the early part of this module on positioning or read about it on the Rising Online Group website or other places. This table summarizes the value concepts with some examples. It's good to reference as you brainstorm ideas and work the exercise. Values set guiding principles that you will not compromise. Digging deeper, values are considered and set guidance when doing the things in column 3. Most notably, they build strong culture, guide interactions, and set how we work. You see the examples. I like live person's values. They use two simple values, be an owner and be helpful. Be an owner is strong guidance on a day-to-day basis. Just do what's right for the company. And help others guides how to interact with people. You also start to see the difference between Google's values that focus on technology and information, while Apple focuses on product innovation and making a positive difference. This slide summarizes directions for the exercise. The approach is similar for many of our exercises. Discuss the idea and concept, write your suggestion on a Post-it note, and then share them on a board. Once all ideas are on the board, discuss them and group any that are related. Vote to isolate the most important ideas, and then reflect on the results of the voting, and modify wording and give them titles. You can see the evolution of the exercise with formula roofing. This whole exercise took almost an hour for their team to complete. The ideas start slowly at first, and then soon everyone has a few ideas posted. Once everyone has their ideas out, we have each person discuss what they wrote with the group. I remember one story around doing what's right, where the sales lead described how he once recommended tuck pointing a wall instead of a roof fix. He didn't make any money, but he got a good reference from the visit when it worked out. As each person discussed their Post-its, we grouped related ideas. We eventually got 15 Post-it notes to 7 groupings. When we finished grouping, each person got to vote for the ones they thought were most important. I give people a number of votes that is about equal to the number of results we want to include. In this case, 4 votes for each person. They can put all their votes on one grouping or spread them out as they like. When all votes are in, we discuss the top results. We found a lot of agreement and common ground. Through the discussion, we gave each top result a title that you can see in red here. The next day, we transferred the results to the business model worksheet and did some wordsmithing. I expect that there will be some more discussion throughout the next quarter or so. We'll revisit wording and make some possible changes at our next quarterly meeting or two as we better understand how well the values work in different situations. The team has already learned that using values for hiring is useful. A recent hire only lasted a day. On reflection, they concluded that screening for always improving would have filtered her out before making an offer. They are comfortable that the current hire has a good values fit. Looking again at the exercise, you should be ready to run it as a team. Remember to have participants do pre-work to come into the exercise with a common understanding of values and some ideas of what they want to share with the group. Walk through the numbered steps one at a time, taking enough time to generate good conversation and debate in the process. Next, let's work on the mission and vision. I work on these together since vision is the result of a well-executed mission. Some teams often overlap ideas when discussing them. Jim Collins' hedgehog concept gives good guidance about what to consider in mission creation with 3 overlapping circles that include passion, capabilities, and financial return. Consider where your 3 circles overlap as a company. This is a good prompt for the mission exercise. Also, remind everyone that vision allows for different activities and growth under the same core purpose. If you define your mission too narrowly, it can limit imagination and future possibilities. Apple is a good example where their mission and vision have allowed them to grow and their customers to accept their expansion from desktop computers into many electronic devices and related services. Review what mission and vision are and why they are important. As we do for all exercises, participants should review the concepts prior to the exercise. You can use the content in this module on positioning or read about it on the Horizon Line Group website. This table summarizes the mission and vision concepts with some examples. It's a good reference to use for brainstorming ideas and for the exercise. Mission defines the enduring purpose of the organization. Vision describes success and how you would be viewed by the world. It describes the result of executing your mission well. Digging deeper, use the bullets in column 3. Most notably, these elements give purpose, inspire, allow for growth, and differentiate why the business exists. And you see the examples. I especially like Patagonia's mission and Disney's vision. Others in your group can share whatever examples they like. You also see more of the difference between Google's positioning that focuses on information and Apple's that focuses on user experience and innovation. This slide gives directions for the mission exercise. Notice the approach is similar as we use for the values exercise. Discuss the idea and concept, write your suggestion on Post-it notes, and then share them on the board. Once all ideas are on the board, discuss them and group any that are related. Vote to isolate the most important ideas, and then reflect on the results of the voting, modify wording, and give them titles. The exercise for vision is similar with a modified prompt. This prompt lists different constituents that the vision should inspire. The Bill Gates quote reminds us to be bold in imagining what can happen in the long-term time frame that we are considering. You can see the evolution of the formula roofing exercise in this animation. And here's the final board for formulas, mission, and vision. This shows how we use words and ideas from each board to get to a statement that we felt captured the ideas shared. Protection, quality, long-lasting, and value were words that kept coming up in the discussion. We then transferred this to the business model worksheet and continued wordsmithing. The mission first has a broad, big picture statement, and then it focuses on their specific niche. The niche is more specific to roofing, solar, and Colorado. Not all teams adopt this two-part mission statement, but it can allow for broader thinking at the top level while acknowledging the need to focus. When discussing vision, the team kept insisting that a good roof should last at least 25 years. Then someone suggested that 25 years was a generation, and the vision statement was born. Looking again at the exercises, you should be ready to run them as a team. Remember to have all participants do pre-work so they come into the exercise with some idea of what they want to share with the group. Walk through the numbered steps one at a time for your mission and then for your vision, taking enough time to generate good conversation and debate in the process, and to identify common themes between the two. Once done, move the results to the business model worksheet and continue to wordsmith until all are happy. When you're finished, take some time to get comfortable with your positioning. Start to use it and evaluate how well the statements guide and inspire. You may need to make a few tweaks to cover some unexpected situations or unintended consequences. After a few review cycles without any changes, make them permanent. Then apply them broadly in the ways we discussed at the start of this module. Okay, that completes the positioning module. From this module, you should feel comfortable and ready to create your own mission, vision, and values. In upcoming modules, we'll create the other levels of the business model and practice the StrategyOS execution cycle to deliver all aspects of your vision. You can find all the modules on the Horizon Line Group website, along with more guidance. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next modules.